Ready.
Welcome to episode 32 of the Go Get 'em Agility podcast. My name is Margaret Hughes, and I'm your host. And with me today is AKC's league director. Are you the director?
I'm the director, yes.
Okay, Director Penny Leigh. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
That's right. It's Leigh, just like Vivian Leigh. That's right.
Well, welcome, Penny. I appreciate you coming onto the podcast with me. So 2 episodes ago, episode 30, I discussed with my daughter and Aaron Lynch about AKC League, that we had just some people had some questions, and so we thought we would talk about it. And you listened to that podcast, and there were a couple of things that we got incorrect, and so you offered to come and give us more insight on that. But before we go there, can you just give us a little bit of information about you, your background, and your role in AKC?
Sure. First of all, you guys did a great job, and we appreciate you featuring the league. There was just a couple of things that were not exactly correct. But yes, I have been with AKC for 17 years as a program manager. I manage, in addition to the league, I manage the Canine Partners program, which is our program for mixed breed dogs. And I also manage a dog training service called the Good Dog Helpline, which is a 7-day-a-week telephone dog training support system, which people can enroll in and call and talk to our trainers and get advice on basic issues like house training, chewing. These are it's really designed for like new puppy owners. Oh, nice. And my background is before coming to AKC, I was a journalist. I was a newspaper reporter and city editor, and I still do a lot of writing for AKC. I write for a lot of their magazines and newsletters, and I've been involved in the world of dog sports for 30 plus years. I started in agility in the mid 90s. Actually, it was right before AKC even had a program. I started with USDAA.
Okay.
And I've love agility. I've competed all these years. And I also compete in a number of other dog sports, including rally, obedience, dock diving, you name it. And so I am a dog trainer, and I have been very excited to work on the league because I do love agility.
Oh, super. Well, that's quite a background. So tell me, did you develop league, or did you step into a role that somebody else developed for league? How did league come about? Give me the origin.
Yes, I'm happy to tell you. So this is the brainchild of Gina DiNardo, who is the AKC executive secretary. She is the one whose signature is on everyone's title certificates, if that sounds familiar. Okay. Gina also does a lot of commentary on the televised dog shows. But Gina's background is from dog shows. Her parents are both dog show judges, and she's grown up in the world of dog sports. But she also is a tennis competitor, a really good tennis competitor, and she has been involved with the USTA Tennis League for many years. And this is how she got the idea. She enjoys the tennis league so much and the team aspect of it that she thought it would lend itself to some of the AKC sports. And she thought agility would be a good start to try it out. So when she, and so our agility department didn't really have time to develop a whole new program. As we all know, they're very busy. They have new events every year, a lot of national events to handle, as well as all the world teams. So I was tapped to work with Gina and a team. We have a small team that works on league to develop it. Just because of my background in agility. I also bring to the table, I was a longtime flyball competitor, which is a team sport.
Right.
And then my husband particularly is active, but I'm also a member of the for us, we live in North Carolina. It's the Tar Heel World Toss and Fetch League, which is a disc dog league. And my husband is big. That's his big sport, is disc dog. And I actually got a lot of my ideas for how to run the agility league from the disc league.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
So anyhow, that's kind of what I brought to the table, and that's why I was tapped to help lead the program. And of course, it's been most people, I guess, know that it started. It officially launched last May 30th of 2022 with a pilot program. So we were just going to test it out to see what people thought. And these were teams that were invited to participate, or we did recruit a few teams at the NAC of 2022. We had a booth there and we talked to people, and we had a few people who said, I would like to be in the pilot program. And of course, we took them in. We had about 40 teams sponsored by 19 groups, all one level, only masters.
Right.
And it was a big hit. I mean, the positive feedback was really encouraging. So we decided to go forward. The AKC Board of Directors approved it as an official program last August. Okay. And now we are just getting ready. We're almost finished with our 4th season and getting ready to start the 5th. So, and it is growing. Obviously, I think everybody's aware of that it is growing, and it's very exciting.
I was actually wondering if it would end up maxing out just due to the logistical stuff that you guys have to do behind the scenes. So, it is growing.
No. I mean, our plan is to never limit it. Okay. So, that's not, so we do not plan to limit it in any way. So, if that happened, hopefully we would add stuff on the backside. We'd be adding more people or more bells and whistles or something.
Right. So, that would be wonderful. Well, you guys have done a super job in organizing it and getting, being efficient and getting scores out and courses out. You've hired, I don't know if the judges are paid, or the course designers?
They are contractors. They are not employees. Okay. They contract with AKC. They are paid by the course,
right?
And they so they work obviously from home designing their courses. And we have 3: one for the regulation, which is your basic AKC courses; one for limited, which are your smaller courses, the shorter courses, I should say, for smaller spaces. And then we have a designer for our international style courses. So 3 designers.
Okay. But they've done, I'm running the limited. I've only ever run limited due to our space size. And it's been fantastic. We've had some nice courses that have worked really nicely in our space, in our small space.
That's great. Yeah, we have Rhonda Bermke is our new limited course designer. And we have Debbie Wheeler of California, who does the regulation courses, and Ashley Deacon, also of California, who does the ISC style courses. And they're all great. And not only are they great designers, they're, really nice people and big proponents of league. And so they're great to work with.
Well, I've seen a lot of comments when people post a league course on, it's quite often that one of the judges will comment, hey, nice run. So it's kind of fun to see them see the runs that they're designing, to see it play out.
Oh, yes, they love it. They love to see the videos. Yes.
Yeah, so that's been really nice. Give me the information on the cost to sign up. So there was, I'm not sure if this is still true or not, but you had a handler had to sign up and then a dog sign up. And this is separate from a dog registering with AKC. So every dog has to be registered with AKC in order to participate in league. And then there's another fee for the actual league sign up. Can you explain the difference between the handler and the dog?
Well, there's an annual handler fee of $30.
Okay.
And that covers every season that handler participates in for a year. And that's from the date they pay it. It's not it's not January to January, because not everyone does every season. That wouldn't be fair. So,
Right.
and so, and that covers, that's your handler fee, and it's regardless of how many dogs you run, $30 for the year.
Okay.
Then it's $25 per dog per season.
Okay.
So, if you've paid your $30 and and you're getting ready to sign up for season 5 with 2 dogs, that's going to be $50, $25 per each dog. And, when you sign up, our forms, our online forms, it'll ask you, have you, already paid your $30? And if so, tell us what team you ran on, so we check that you were on that team for that season, and that's it. The league is very much an honor system program,
Right.
As everybody knows, it's you judge yourselves, you report your scores. That's the way we want it. It's recreational. We trust everybody to do the right thing. So, but yeah, so it's as probably some of you who compete in other venues know that a lot of them have started similar handler fees or membership fees that you pay every year, and then that is in addition to your dog fee, your dog sign up fee. So sort of similar to some other groups, yeah.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. And so anybody who's got a dog that is registered with AKC can join. Yes. Right.
Yes, you have to be. Yes, I'm sorry. It is an AKC program. So we do require AKC registration, or a PAL number, or a Canine Partners number, or, you can have a foreign dog as long as it's with you have met the requirements for the AKC foreign registry. So, but yes, you do have to have an AKC number of some type to participate.
Okay, let me just explain the difference between a PAL program is for a purebred that doesn't have AKC registered parents, but they're purebred. They can register with AKC as a purebred listing, correct?
Yes, that's correct. The PAL, which is called, it stands for Purebred Alternative Listing.
Okay.
It is for purebred dogs that do not have full AKC registration for whatever reason. Right. Many of them are rescues, but they're purebred. Or it could be the breeder, the parents weren't AKC registrable. They registered with some other registry and there was no way to convert it to AKC. Be lots of reasons why. So you for that program, you have to submit photos of the dog, right? And a little background and the size of the dog, the height and the weight. And there's the PAL department looks at it and they're like, yep, that's a border collie. You can have a number as a border collie. And then, it's great because you get to run as your breed. You can go to your breed specialties and compete in agility or herding or whatever, and you're in the rankings for that breed. Right. So the Canine Partners program was really intended for all American dogs, mixed breed dogs. But we do get purebreds that come in through it. Whenever we discover that, we do tell the owners, did you know there's a PAL option and you can apply to be your actual breed? Right. And we have a lot of people who transfer who just don't know because it is confusing. PAL and Canine Partners, people get them confused, and I understand that.
Well, and the PAL program used to be called something different.
ILP.
That's right. Okay, so
ILP.
I had two ILPs early on in my agility career, a Shih Tzu and a Pomeranian. And I have a border collie that went into the PAL program. So all three of them were purebreds, but two of them were from an animal shelter. And so we had no information on the parents. And then my border collie, his parents are all border collie with the American Border Collie Association, but there was no AKC registration behind him. So all of them ran in the PAL or ILP program. And then now I have a mixed breed who's in the Canine Partners program. So
great. That's awesome.
And we also have other purebred. We have Shelties that do have all the lineage. So we've been in all three programs or all three categories.
That is great. That is great.
Group.
So have I. I've had a pal. I have mixed breeds. I'm running a little mixed breed right now, and I have purebred. So I'm in the same boat.
Nice.
I say we're an equal opportunity household. My husband and I say.
Well, and it's really nice. Yeah, it's really nice that AKC, even though they are their mission is purebred, and to create, continue the lineage of purebred. It is really nice that they've have the opportunity for mixed breeds to come into their performance events. So I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. And so now when somebody's wanting to join League, they are required to join a team. Is that so? Somebody out in the rural area, would they have to be on a team in order to compete?
You do. You do. Yes. You can't. This is not an individual sport program.
Okay.
The whole point of it is team. So yeah. I mean, you can. But I will say that to form a league team, it does not have to be an AKC club. Not at all.
Okay.
It can be an AKC club, but it can be a private dog training school. It can be just an individual. It can be someone who has a backyard with equipment, and we have a lot of those, and says, hey, I'm inviting 2 friends and we're making a team and we run in my backyard. Now, because really, I mean, we wanted this to be laid back, fun, and recreational. So, somebody in a real rural area, if you have, I guess my best advice would be try to come up with, you only need 2 handlers and 3 dogs to make a team.
Okay. So you can't have one handler and 3 dogs because you can't judge yourself.
Yeah, no, right, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you can
there has to be at least 2 handlers, but one handler could have 2 dogs and one have 1 dog, and you have a team. So.
Okay. Could you? So okay. And so what happens if that third person or the third dog, let's say one of those, you have 3 dogs, 2 handlers, one of those dogs becomes injured? Can the other 2 continue on and earn scores? Can the third dog take a 0?
They cannot continue to compete as a team. They would have to find a substitute dog to compete as a team, but the 2 remaining dogs can continue to compete as individuals. Okay. And they can still earn final rankings and awards in their individual jump height class. So in the event you could not find a sub, then that is what would happen. We could say you can still compete. And we've had this happen a few times too. So that we've even had it happen on a team that was a little larger than 3 dogs, that a couple of people could not continue the season, unfortunately, and the remaining dogs competed individually for their individual scores.
Okay. So then they just take a null for that one round, or however many rounds they have coming.
Well, right. They just don't report. I mean, the dog that was injured or the dog that moved away or whatever happened, it just drops off. It would be.
But as a team, they would take a null for the round.
Right. Well, in that case, we would probably just stop reporting them as a team, and we would only report the dog scores, if that makes sense.
Okay. But how many rounds do they have to stay in the rankings for team?
All 6. A team has to complete all 6 rounds with a minimum of 3 dogs.
Okay. So
you have to complete for the team. Okay. Individual dogs have to complete 4 of 6 rounds. Okay. And we did that because we know people have lives, and there's going to be weeks where you're on vacation or you're sick or there's injuries. So we were trying to give the individual dog owners a break. So they get, and that happened like on my team this summer. We had one dog, she told me before she started the season, I have 2 times I'm going to miss because we're on vacation. Right. And that was fine. She got 4 of 6. Ran 4 rounds. So, so that's the reason we have that rule. But the team as a whole must run all 6 rounds with a minimum of 3 dogs.
Okay.
So if you have a 6-dog team, 3 people are out, you still qualify as a team if you ran 3 dogs that got a score. So,
Okay. Yeah. So I have that coming up on our last round. I have my sophomore team only has 3 dogs, and 1 dog is going to be missing this upcoming round. So I'll be encountering that, figuring out how to score that. So that was why
you can also ask for an extension. You can also ask for an extension and then hold off and run that dog when they get back.
Yeah,
if it's a vacation.
Yeah, that won't be for a year. So
yeah. Oh, a year. Well, no.
I think that's an awfully long extension.
Yeah. We do work with people on extensions, though, just so you know, so, I mean, I know, but just for people listening in that, this happens often, especially those teams that run outdoors, of which we have a lot that run outdoors. There's bad weather, and they can't get a round done. They just write us and apply for an extension. It's not any formal application. They just drop us an email, and then we give them an extension until they run that round. And there's no time limit on that. As long as you get all 6 rounds in before the end of the season, you're good to go.
Okay.
Like I have one team now who's still pending round 1. They had a bad 2 weeks when they started this season, and they're running it next week. They're running it in the 6th round, but it doesn't matter because when we do the final calculations, they've run all 6 rounds.
Right. So as long as it's by the end of the season.
Exactly.
And all the scores can be tallied. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that extension part is really nice for the organizers to work around holidays and weather, that sort of thing. Yeah, we've had a couple of extensions, which has been nice. Was there anything in our podcast that we discussed besides? I think the origin was the main thing that you were correcting us on.
Right. I mean, I think you were correct in saying that we're not part of the agility department, but I did want to say that we are a separate department, but we do work with them closely, and we're not part of, and we are our own unique department. We're not tied to CGC or the events department, the companion events department. We're our own unique department, but we do work closely with the agility department. Scott Stock, who is one of the AKC agility field representatives, he is our liaison with the agility department, and he designed courses for us for the first few seasons.
Right.
And he does and he stepped back from that this season, but he reviews all the courses. So I did want everyone to know all the courses go through a course review, just like any other judge designing for a trial.
Yeah.
And so he is. Mm-hmm.
Well, and I know that, so in one of the rounds that there was a question from me, I was like, are you sure this is legal? And so all I did was email you guys, and you all sent back a really good explanation of, yes, this is what's legal in AKC for just regular agility trials. And so that's how it ended up in our league as well. And so that was really nice to know that they're being reviewed, and if we have a question, we can certainly answer it, or you guys will answer it for us. And what I also like about your course design is that if we're limited on a type of obstacle that a group doesn't have, or, limited on wing jumps versus wingless jumps, you guys are willing to accommodate and help us run the course with the equipment that we have. So that's been a nice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
we didn't want, we certainly did not want anyone to have to go out and, as long as they had the base equipment, you have to meet some requirements for equipment, but, we certainly didn't want anyone to have to go out and spend a bunch of money to be in league, to buy extra tunnels or whatever. So we certainly do work with people, people write us and say, can I use this instead of that? And we try our hardest to work with them. Right. Because like I said, that wasn't our intent for people to have to go out and make a major investment so they can have a league team. So now someone did write me recently who really wanted to join league, and she said, but my contacts are only this high. They were like I think they might have been teacup dog size. And I was like, sorry, now that we can't do. So
Yeah, well, that changes your yardage.
yes, I said, you write us back when you get, the regulation size contacts, and they understood. But really, as long as you have the basics, we will work with you. So.
Okay, and tell me about yardage, because I think that yardage can vary quite greatly, and I know that so you have a maximum course yardage on your course course map. And then we're wheeling it for getting as close to that as possible. So explain to me how your course yardage is calculated into your scoring system.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you this first, a little bit of the background. And I also would like to, and I'm glad you said that, because I just wanted to call out a couple of my the staffers who work with me. My right-hand person is Cassandra McComb, and she is a senior business intelligence analyst for AKC, and she is also an agility competitor, and she helped develop the scoring system. And she might be someone who would be nice to have as a guest on your program, because she can quite in detail explain to you how it works.
Okay.
It is yards per second, but not completely. Okay. So I may not be able to answer it in a very technical way for you. But what I will say is this. This is a new program, and very new. We're only just barely a year old, and we're still really learning and tweaking. And we welcome feedback because we do want to make this, we want to continue to improve this program. But in our pilot program, we had no max course yardage. We just sent them a course map. And of course, the coordinates were on there. But it was quite interesting. The yardage was all over the place. It was like we had some teams wheeling at like 220 yards. And then we had other teams that had smaller spaces, and they were like, and it was amazing, the difference. And even though it should be fair, because it's yards per second, a time plus faults, but it's not, because the dogs that, some dogs that are running in full extension, because it's a much bigger course, even if they had faults, were coming in with much better scores than dogs that were running smaller yardage, of course. So that is why that's why we started the maximum course yardage. That is why we have it now. And we started to not have it on the limited courses, which is your division, because we thought, well, it's a small course. But, even with the limited division, we saw a lot of variation. So now you have that.
Yeah, I've had my students measure to practice, just to give them a feel for what it's like. And the difference between what I wheel and what they wheel can be 10 feet, 3 yards, 4 yards.
Oh, yes.
So it's interesting, just on the exact same course, you can wheel it completely different. So that is an interesting thing.
It is. I mean, you should be wheeling for, we tell our captains, or whoever's doing the wheeling, the judges, to wheel for the path of a 20-inch dog, and we take care of the handicaps. So and what we say is a regular 20-inch dog, not a world team 20-inch dog. So you shouldn't be wheeling super tight. You should be wheeling, for a normal turning dog.
Right.
That sounds kind of strange, but you know what I mean.
Well, the world team members they're trying to cut those corners every way.
Right, so exactly. And Dee Lullick, who is an AKC judge who has some great teams out of Chicago, she did a video, and it's on the AKC Agility League webpage on akc.org if anyone wants to look at it. She did a video to help captains, because we had a lot of people, that's another thing in the pilot, who said, I I'm not sure I'm measuring correctly. She did a great video on how to measure and for the path of the dog we're looking for. And it's very good and it's very easy to follow.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely correct. I have teams. Cassie does too. I run on a couple of teams, and I think it's good because we're there in the trenches and we know what everyone is going through in the program who's a captain, and we're experiencing it and we're running the courses. But it's interesting. This happened just this week with us. Somebody was measuring and they kept going over, and we're looking at the course and we're like, gosh, I don't know what we could move. And then I measured it and I came in like almost right on the money. So you're right about that. And if you're having issues, it's good to maybe have 2 or 3 people wheel it. Because just as you know, just a little bit wide on a couple of turns and there's your yardage, you're over. So.
Yeah, and people wheel for their dog.
Yes, exactly.
So what they imagine their dog's path to be, and that's the people that actually imagine their dog's path.
Yes, right, so, exactly.
So it's definitely a learning curve, and I'm not a judge, but I've been doing it for enough time that I think I have a pretty good feel. But it would be interesting to have someone like myself who has experience and believes they're wheeling it correctly to actually go right underneath a judge and say, right, this is how I would do it. The course designer or whatever. So it'd be an interesting little scientific experiment, or maybe not quite scientific. So is there anything else that, let me just clarify for the scoring. So you do a time plus faults, and then there's a handicap. And so there's some formula that if we want more explanation, we'll go to Cassandra and clarify how exactly you guys score. So I'm glad we're back together. So we got interrupted. We were talking how the scoring was going. So I'm not sure if you heard my last question. And maybe my question is for Cassandra. Was it Cassandra you said is in charge or does the calculation?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, Kathy. Yes, I'm. If you have any detailed questions about the scoring formula, that would be best directed to her because she can explain it very, very well. Okay. But it's basically time plus faults, yards per second, but she has built in some detailed handicap features for our preferred dogs and our veteran dogs and our smaller dogs.
Yeah. Okay.
Excellent.
So is there, I think I've covered all the questions I had. Is there anything that you want to let everybody know?
No, just that we are having over Labor Day weekend, we're having our first live league event. Our plan is that once a year or maybe through regionals. We're not sure yet. This is all, like I said, a new program, and we're exploring different events, but we are having a first national get together at Purina Farms, and the event entries close August 9th, and we will have every division represented, and we're excited. So I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of the people I've been communicating with for the past year in person.
Right. Yeah, no, that'd be fantastic. Now, will you guys be running multiple rings then simultaneously?
We'll be running on Saturday. We will just do freshman and sophomore, and it'll be smaller, but we will still have 2 rings, one for sophomore, one for freshman. And then Sunday and Monday, we'll be running our international ring. And we have Ashley Deacon, who is the course designer for our international courses, in to judge, which is exciting. And in one ring, and the other ring will be senior, which is our master's level courses. So
how many runs if you traveled to St. Louis, it's St. Louis, right? Purina Farms?
Correct. Yeah, right outside of St. Louis.
Okay. So if you travel there, how many runs are you guaranteed?
3 rounds. Each dog does 3 rounds, and then if your team makes the finals, there's a final for the team.
Oh, super! So, what a great way to build in the ability to attend a national event. There's invitationals down in Florida, and then there's nationals that travels in different, well, I guess invitationals can travel as well, but what a great way for League to introduce a national event live. I think that's a fantastic thing. I wish I was closer.
Right. Well, yeah. And, like I said, this is a new program, and next year, we're not sure. We're going to see how it goes.
Right.
We're excited for it. It's not going to be a huge event, because the program, even though it's growing, it's, if you compare it to the overall agility program, it's not the same size,
Right.
So, but we will, one thing that we also had hoped is that we would have regionals. So it may be that in place of a nationals next year, we do 4 regionals in different parts of the country. So more people can get the benefit of meeting their,
Right.
because people, they see teams, they communicate with other teams on our Facebook group. It's nice for them to get the chance to meet each other too.
It is.
So yeah.
It is.
So we'll see how it goes, but we're excited for this event, and it will be live streamed on AKC TV. So please tune in.
Oh, that's fantastic. So that's over Labor Day weekend.
Over Labor Day weekend, September 2nd through 4th.
Okay. Fantastic.
And also fall enrollment opens August 10th and continues through September 4th, and the fall season kicks off September 18th. So if anyone is listening who's not involved in League and thinks this sounds interesting, please contact me and contact us, and we will be happy to tell you how to get involved.
You want to give your contact email?
Yeah, Agility League at akc.org. It's very easy. Agility League at akc.org.
Agility League is all one word.
Yep, one word.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Super. Excellent.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us on. We really appreciate it.
No, I really appreciate you reaching out and telling me that you're listening. I love that. But also to help clarify some stuff we got incorrect. So that's fantastic. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Go get them. Woof, woof.